1440, the number of minutes in a day. You are now tuned in to Power Podcasts, the Empower Hour. Peace and blessings, beautiful souls. I am Brandi L. Bates, author of Moonshine for the Soul, The Art of Grind, many other books. I'll be your host for today. You can find me on Twitter at Soledad Francis and on Instagram at Brandi is Winning, Brandi with an I. Most of these podcasts can be found archived on YouTube, hashtag Power Podcasts. But please listen to them while they're recorded live by subscribing to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and or brandybates.podomatic.com, because sometimes YouTube is a little funny style with keeping things uploaded. Sometimes they block the podcast when we upload them to YouTube. So just getting that out of the way. 1440, the number of minutes in a day. Whenever you try to, I don't know who needs to hear this today, right now, but whenever you try to force a relationship with someone, be that an intimate, sexual, romantic relationship, or business relations, co-workers, colleagues, someone you're going to do a project with, a business partner for a startup, or just a garden variety, platonic, regular, degular friendship, right? With someone who does not match your vibrational frequency, or who is on a lower or higher wavelength than you are. You get pain. You get pain, frustration. You get disappointment, anger, and resentment. So my question for you today is, who is reciprocating your energy? Who is reciprocating your energy? Get around the people who refill your well of inspiration and passion when you're feeling empty, and or you do that for them. But when you think about how much time we waste, we trick off time getting involved in fruitless unions, like deals that are going nowhere, dead end relationships, dead end conversations. And when you really think about the fact of the matter is, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you will ever be alive. That time is platinum. That time is titanium, is diamond, is chrome. It's the creme de la creme. And yet we trick it off. You got to get purposeful in your relationships. I was saying this to somebody the other day, how in 2019, it's my goal to be more purpose driven and purposeful in my relationships. Even just hanging out and having a cup of coffee or having a cup of tea or drinks or dinner or brunch. All of those instances need to be purpose driven. Because when you subtract the time you sleep, you subtract the time you wake, you subtract the time you're working and spending time with your family and spending a little bit of time for yourself, there really is no time to kill. There really is no time to, shoot the shit. It really isn't. When you really look at the grand scheme of people's lives, people who you've seen live and die, like, had they known they were going to die at that time, they probably would have went ahead and, finished that book or finished school or gone ahead and got married or gone ahead and started that business. So, you fill in the blank. But the point is, we got to get purposeful in our relationships, purposeful and purpose driven in every area of life. Someone said, don't waste another second if it doesn't contribute or fuel or feed into your immediate goals. And it it hit different, you know? You stop dreaming. I don't know. It's like between the ages of 21 and 30, we just stop dreaming. Life happens, you know? You talk to a 5-year-old, you talk to a 4-year-old. They are full of big dreams. They dream big, baby. They dream massive. Do you hear me? They want to be astronauts and astrophysicists and presidents and doctors and lawyers, and they want to be the president, and you know, and then life happens, you know, bills and student loans and relationships and marriages and children and car notes and sickness and you know, you name it. And we stop dreaming. We stop dreaming. We start believing that our existence is that fucking cubicle. That cubicle is not you. That's not you. That's a parking destination in the grand scheme of your life. And we get so caught up on these job titles. We get so caught up on, you know, well, I started my own business, or I'm doing this, or that's not even you. It's just what you're doing right now. Is it true to your life's calling? Is it true to your purpose? Is it feeding your inner man or inner woman? You feel me? When you're bringing your vision into reality, you may run into resistance. But all of your waking energy should be invested bringing your vision into reality. You gotta manifest that shit. A lot of you gave up because you got chin checked by life. You got chin checked by life. Let's just call it what it is, right? You might have had, you know, got pregnant at 16, 17, 18, or, you know, you had to drop out of school, or fellas, you got a girl pregnant, or you had to go, you know, you had to go to the military because you couldn't really afford to really do what it is you wanted to do. You name it, whatever your situation is. And that knocked you off, you know, knocked you off kilter. You got chin checked by life. And please understand, we're all going to be bombed on by life. Life will hit you in the mouth every now and then. I don't care who you are. I don't care how spoon-fed you are. I don't care if you live with your grandparents, or you're, you know, you 50 and living in the basement of your parents' house, or what have you. You had to file bankruptcy. I don't care who you are. Life is going to hit you in the mouth. If it already hit you in the mouth, guess what? It might hit you in the mouth again. This is a reality in this time-space continuum, in this society which we find ourselves in. But no pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. Many of you are stuck on a low level because you gave up when you got hit in the mouth. You gave up. You gave up. You dropped out of school. You gave up on your dreams. You stopped working on that script. You stopped going in for the auditions. You stopped submitting your manuscript. You stopped trying to get that small business loan. So, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. You threw in the towel. And you gave up because you got hit in the mouth by life. That 18th mile, you may have hit your wall. When a marathon has 26 miles, what do? When you hit your wall, you done. You can't give any more. You fought your last fight. You don't have any more fuel in your tank. What do? Always do what is hard and scary. Because usually when you feel like you've hit rock bottom, I believe that when you feel you've hit rock bottom, or even if you just feel, you know, a low, and it's a low that you can't deal with, I believe that that's sometimes is one of the best places to be. It's like being in the eye of a storm. If you know anything about a hurricane, a tornado, the eye of the storm is the safest place. It's where it's calm. If you can, even when you fall and look up and see, you know what? I don't have anything else to lose at this point. So there's only one place to go, and that's up. And so always do what is hard and scary. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Because here's the thing. When you push through, you will realize that it's a paper tiger, paper teeth, toothless. A lot of the shit you're afraid of, in your mind, you're thinking about all these possible outcomes of what can happen. It's nothing that could happen. It's nothing that could touch you. It's nothing that will happen. That won't happen. And when you see it for what it is, that's why as you age, you can look back on your experiences in school, in elementary school or middle school or high school or college or whatever, and look at how some of those obstacles seemed insurmountable when you were, 9 or 12 or 15 or 22 or what have you, right? And then as you get older, you're like, I can't believe, they got me worked up. Never let someone who has accomplished less than you have, somebody who ain't did shit, don't have anything in their name, right? You're going to let that kind of person get to you, to cross lines and wavelengths with you. See, you don't have to try to be spiritual when you are a living spirit. Gratitude in advance is the most powerful creative force in the universe. And yet we spend so little time giving thanks in a state of gratitude. I don't eat Chick-fil-A. I don't eat Chick-fil-A food, but I can admire their customer service. The customer service is impeccable. And that's how we have, whenever I see impeccable customer service, I'm always reminded, like, this is how I need to be in my business life with even just the people who I love, reminding them, thank you for being in my life, waking up in a state of gratitude. When you open your eyes, you turn on your consciousness. When you open your eyes in the morning or whenever you wake up, when you open your eyes, you turn on your consciousness. Before that, your consciousness was on autopilot, and the subconscious is steering the ship, taking you all off into dream universes. But when you open your eyes, you can decide to be in a state of gratitude. You can decide to have a mindset of excellence and say, you know what? Yesterday was what it was. And has it ever occurred to you that the past only exists in thought only? Thought only. It has no substance. And because it has no substance, it cannot harm you, it cannot touch you. It's mythical. Can you touch the past? Can you eat it? Can you taste it? Can you grab it? Can you sleep with it? Can it keep you warm at night? Can it pay your bills? Life is a reflective portal. What you choose to see is what you get. Have you ever been looking for something and it literally was sitting directly in your face? Right in your face. The old folks used to say, if it was a snake, it would have bit you. Because we choose to see what we see. We only see what we want to see. We only see what we want to see. You only see what you want to see. I don't care how educated you are, and you don't think like that. You don't believe in that. You're beyond that. Your mind can make it so that you don't get the opportunity to experience certain things. Your power is so strong, we lose sight of this. Your power is so strong that whatever you believe comes true. You are the way you are because that is what you believe about yourself. Everything you believe is your creation. We live who we believe we are. We live who we believe we are. If you believe that you're the motherfucking shit, you will carry yourself accordingly through life. On a job, at home, in school, wherever. People might envy you. They may hate your confidence, call you egotistical, arrogant. But one thing you won't be is insecure. And one thing I know for sure, all the greats, whether it was in sports or music or business, politics, banking, even in the mystical world, people who had huge egos, people who were confident in their mission, confident in their life calling, confident in their purpose, not having to beg anybody for shit because they knew why they were here. Your true work in life is to keep lifting your frequency, because everything in your life comes as a result of the vibration you are on. The universe is saying, show me your new vibration. I will show you your miracles. It's like, again, I only talk about what I know. I only talk about what I experience. I can't speak to some shit that I haven't experienced. But when my mindset changed, my net worth changed, my income changed, opportunities presenting themselves, the whole level just upgraded. Like it was seemingly overnight. But when I was talking to Babe and I was like, I used to, for years, I was on these positive affirmations and vision boards and speak truth to power and manifesting and I would just speak this and breathe this and sleep this and eat this. And I mean, it encompassed me. And it was like overnight something shifted. And everything changed for me. Not saying everything got beautiful and crystal wonderful and, heavenly, but the way I perceived opportunities, whereas before I would only see tragedy or chaos or heartbreak or pain or they trying to shit on me. But with new eyes, a renewed vision, I see the opportunity. I see the seed. I see what could come of it. And so your true work, your true work in life is to keep lifting your frequency, because everything in your life comes as a result of the vibration you are on. And ironically, there are 40 minutes in a day. How many of those minutes have you squandered today? 1440. How many of those minutes have you invested back into yourself, into your development, into your ascendancy, into your purpose, into your dreams, into your goals, into your aspirations, into your legacy? Because baby, we're not getting any younger. We're not getting any younger. Time is the only thing you can never get back. You can get more money. You trick off money, there's more money. There's plenty of money in this world. You'll get more money. A relationship falls, guess what? You'll get another one. My mother used to say a bus comes every 15 minutes. Thank you, next. You lose your house, you'll get another house. You can get a bigger and better house. In a lifetime, you'll have several homes. Cars, you'll get another car. You can get more jewelry. You can get more books. You cannot get more minutes. The minutes are not on the foreign exchange. Minutes are not on the NASDAQ. Time is the only thing you can never get back. How you spend your minutes, your 1440, how you spend it determines everything. All the little shit adds up. See, you don't just fail overnight. You don't just, I've said it before, you don't fall off. Artists don't fall off overnight. No one hits rock bottom from one trip. It's going to have to be a sequence, of a failure. You stop caring. You stop paying the bills. You stop paying attention. You stop doing what you did in the beginning to get it, to keep it. All the little shit adds up. The late nights and early mornings, even for building something, it's going to the gym every day, not the once in every blue moon hike up the mountain. It's the weight you're lifting every day. It's how you're eating every day. You don't look up and be obese. It's all the little cookies here and peanuts there and chips over here and donuts over here. And you turning up and Hennessy and right. And you look up and you're shaped like a, box of Captain Crunch. It's the little things, the workouts, the effort, the practice, the falling down and getting up, putting in the laps, putting in the sweat equity, right? I challenge you to bend the spiritual and physical laws as you know them, or work with a different set of laws. Dr. Seuss, the great Dr. Seuss said, you can get help from teachers, but you are going to have to learn a lot by yourself, sitting alone in a room. Dr. Seuss, Sam I Am, Green Eggs and Ham. See, when you're really clicking on all cylinders, nobody, no one, not a soul can fuck with you. And I know this resonates with you. You, listening to the sound of my voice at this moment in time, when you really get on point, how unstoppable and unfuckwithable you actually are. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Imagine the best version of you possible at your fighting weight, skin glowing, fit, healthy, you popping, wealthy, happy, loved, abundant, victorious, right? I understand. I get it. Life happens sometimes. Shit happens. Life hits you in the face. Life hits you in the mouth, knocks you off your square. You get fired. You get laid off. Your dad gets sick. Your granny got to get her foot amputated. You got to get your car fixed. Transmission out. You didn't have an extra $700 or $800 sitting around for an engine. Now what you gonna do? You got to get up and get to work. You got to be at work every day. You got to get to work. You got mouths to feed. They not with the shit. They not trying to hear the excuses. What do you do? When life chin checks you, hits you in the mouth, when you realize that other dimensions exist, and I'm not trying to get deep and mythical and mystical, but really put this in perspective. When you realize that other dimensions exist, you'll never think of life or death or yourself or your family, your children or the universe, religion in the same way ever again. Never underestimate. Somebody said, never underestimate the resiliency of your soul, because it's bounced back for lifetimes. When you get that experience, that sensation of deja vu, and you're like, you know what? I've been here before. We had this conversation. I know you from somewhere. Have you seen people and it's like, I know you from somewhere, and you can't put your finger on it. And you're like, did we go to the same school? Where did you go to school? Where did you grow up? Deja vu, bounce back many lifetimes. And when patterns are broken, new worlds emerge. Habitual habits, ways of thinking, ways of being, switching it up. Your present circumstances, they don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start. where you are right now. You have no choice but to start where you are. And from, like I said, rock bottom is great because guess what? Now you know where your starting point is. Like, okay, I can't fall any lower than this. So now it has to get better. And sometimes I hate to say it like this, but sometimes, you got to go through some shit. Some people, it's foreclosure, losing everything. I've talked to people who got evicted and, had all your shit got thrown out all on the curb, right? And you like, well, I don't even know how this happened. It happens. Listen, no one has it all good all the time, always. So everything is connected. Everything is energy. And until you change your thinking, you will always recycle your same experiences. That's why you can date different people and it always end up the same way. Different people, same abuse. Different relationships, different ages, different races, whole totally different personalities. And yet you still seem to have the same relationship every couple of years. One thing is for sure, I don't ever pay attention to what somebody says, but I pay close attention to their track record, to their patterns, because patterns don't lie. Because we are beings that operate and behave out of habit. If you study serial killers, they do the same thing every time. If you study great athletes, how they practice is the same all the time. How they execute what they do, the same all the time. Composers, musical composers, producers, out of habit, how they do everything they do is choreographed. When we speak, we create geometry. Alchemy is this: changing the frequency of thought, altering the harmonics of matter, and applying the element of love to create a desired result. The spirit is life. The mind is the builder. The physical is the result. The spirit, your soul, is life, who you are. The mind, your mindset, how you think, your belief system, your mindset, that's building your world. I love that movie. I cannot think of it right off the top of my head, but it's when the guy goes and he goes into the dream world and he'll just start dreaming in regular daylight, broad daylight, just fall off and start dreaming. And in the world, he can see alternate universes where worlds are coming apart and building and coming apart and building all at the same time. And it's really like this, but on an energetic level. And some of us build totally different realities for ourselves than others. But the physical, what we see, is the result. It's like garbage in, garbage out. If you program an app to behave a certain way, you punch in code, what you see on the screen is the result of the code that went into the program. And the cells in your body react to everything your mind says. Everything your mind says. Your cells stay ear hustling. Okay? You say, this motherfucker pissed me off. I'm sick of her. And then a week later, you have the flu. A month later, your sinus is acting up, right? Because your subconscious is like, oh, this is what you said you wanted. This is what you said you wanted. Quantum physics tells us that nothing observed is unaffected by the observer. Each observer individual creates their own outcome based on how they perceive. So it means that everyone sees a different truth because everyone is creating what they see. And the ability to observe without evaluating is one of the highest forms of intelligence. Because most of us, when we see something, we immediately want to judge it. Understand, whether you believe in flat earth or what have you, the earth's magnetic resonances vibrate at the same frequency as our heart rhythms and brain waves. That's how we can live on this planet and not feel crazy. And we know this to be true because as you rise in height, you rise in depth, and you go up in an airplane, you can feel the effects on your ears and feel the effects in your body. Same thing if you go deep down in the ocean. Anybody who's ever went snorkeling or deep sea diving or just swimming in a deep pool, the deeper you go, you feel your ears start popping and you feel the pressure on your blood and the oxygen gets thin. Or if you've ever went hiking or snowboarding or skiing and you get high up on the cliff and high up on the peak and the air gets thin, the oxygen gets thin. Well, the earth's magnetic resonances, that's because they vibrate on our heart rhythms and our brain waves. And when you realize the soul of the universe is in you, you can suddenly see it in everything. You see it in your relationships. You see it in your children. You see it in your coworkers. You see it in strangers. Outcast said, every now and then I see an extraterrestrial. I see light beings all the time. You've come across angels, angelic beings, dressed as regular people, and you have no idea who you dealt with. And they may drop a seed, they may drop some wisdom, and you never see them again. But they leave their imprint, they leave their impact. But paying homage to the 1440 is about getting what you came here for. Do you hear me? Your heroic mission and journey. You weren't born to just pay bills, as they say now, right? I wasn't born to just pay bills and die, right? Death and taxes. You didn't just come here for death and taxes. You didn't come here just for death and taxes, baby. Listen to the signals that your body gives you. They are there for you to understand your soul. Thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and words are the language of the mind. Feelings are the language of the body. And emotions are the language of the soul. I'm going to say it again. Thoughts and words are the language of the mind. Feelings are the language of the body. And emotions are the language of the soul. The sky isn't even the limit anymore. Remember, the sky used to be... There was once upon a time, the sky really was the limit. I know you millennials don't know a time before, that was true. But literally with SpaceX and space travel and Jeff Bezos' space company and Richard Branson's space company, Elon Musk and NASA, the sky is not the limit. And it occurred to me the other day, I'm like, why is it that all these multi-billionaires have their money in space travel? What do they know that you don't know? What do they know? What have they been briefed on? What have they read that was classified that we do not know, that will come out years from now? Why are they trying to get us to Mars? Why are they trying to get us to the moon? Why are they trying to make space travel a thing, right? And they're all racing to get there and see who can get it commercialized the fastest. We've as if we didn't fuck up Earth enough. Let's go fuck up some other planets, right? But the sky is not the limit. Your belief system is. All of the great history makers maximized their time. Do you hear me? Do you follow me? Anybody you consider great, Muhammad Ali, Beyonce, Michael Jordan, Dale Earnhardt, name your favorite hero, a celebrity or politician or great man or woman, your big mama, whoever. Every single one of them handcrafted legendary careers and musical catalogs and movies and screenplays and books, etc., etc., etc. All of the great history makers squeezed all of the juice out of their 1440. What you doing with your 1440? Thank you so much for listening. Today, you have 1,440 minutes. What are you going to do with them?
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I won't have it. Is that clear? You think you merely stopped a business deal? That is not the case. The Arabs have taken billions of dollars out of this country, and now they must put it back. It is ebb and flow, tidal gravity. It is ecological balance. You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West. There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and immane, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of dollars. Petrodollars, electrodollars, multi-dollars, Reichmarks, rims, rubles, pounds, and shekels. It is the international system of currency which determines the totality of life on this planet. That is the natural order of things today. That is the atomic and subatomic and galactic structure of things today. And you have meddled with the primal forces of nature. And you will atone. Am I getting through to you, Mr. Beale? You get up on your little 21-inch screen and howl about America and democracy. There is no America. There is no democracy. There is only IBM and ITT and AT&T and DuPont, Dow, Union Carbide, and Exxon. Those are the nations of the world today. What do you think the Russians talk about in their councils of state? Karl Marx? They get out their linear programming charts, statistical decision theories, Minimax solutions, and compute the price-cost probabilities of their transactions and investments, just like we do. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies, Mr. Beale. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business. The world is a business, Mr. Beale. It has been since man crawled out of the slime. And our children will live, Mr. Beale, to see that perfect world in which there's no war or famine, oppression or brutality. One vast and ecumenical holding company for whom all men will work to serve a common profit, in which all men will hold a share of stock. all necessities provided, all anxieties tranquilized, all boredom amused. And I have chosen you, Mr. Beale, to preach this evangel.
Why me?
Because you're on television, dummy. 60 million people watch you every night of the week, Monday through Friday.
I have seen the face of God.
You just might be right, Mr. Beale.